Hi everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Odessa and I am with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Program Dinner Tonight. And I have a brand new recipe for you guys that I'm going to show you how easy and how simple it is to make today. So we heard from you that you guys missed our videos, our recipe videos and our lives, and so we definitely want to bring that back in 2022. We want to make sure that we're bringing you guys the latest, best recipes that will fit into your busy lives and also provide you with that confidence that you can trust our recipes and trust their nutritional value. So we are excited to be back in 2022. We're excited to bring you more recipe videos and again, demonstrate for you just how simple some of these recipes really are and how they can fit into your life. So with that, today what we've got is a beet and butternut squash roasted salad. So there's gonna be some roasted elements to it. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna make our own salad dressing. And then I'm gonna get it all plated up for you so you can see what the final product should look like. So we've got a couple things already started in the kitchen so you guys didn't have to sit and watch vegetables roast for 20 minutes. So in the oven, we've got our beets and we've got our butternut squash, which we will talk about here in a second. Back on the burner, we have got our balsamic dressing that's reducing right now. So if you see me, check on that here in a minute just to make sure it's not burning or sticking. That's what I'm doing. And we'll talk more about that in a second as well. But first I want to get into the bulk of this salad and what is roasting in the oven. So first off, we've got our butternut squash. So in case you guys have never experienced butternut squash or maybe don't know what it looks like, I've got some cut up here for us. And this is what they look like that you'll see in the grocery store to pick up and purchase. So butternut squashes have a pretty tough outer skin. So when we are purchasing these and preparing them to use, we want to make sure that we run them under cool running water to make sure that we get any dirt and debris off of this tough outer skin that was kind of laying in the dirt. So we want to do that first and make sure we do that. Next, butternut squashes are pretty tough veggies to begin with. And so knife safety is really critical when cutting up a butternut squash and kind of some of the other harder squashes as well. So a really simple way to do this, I always like to peel my butternut squash first with a vegetable peeler just to get all this tough outer skin off. And when you're doing that, you can kind of create a flat surface on one edge of the butternut squash to help you stabilize while you're going to cut it. We don't want it rocking around like this. We want it nice and stable on your cutting board. So definitely do that and make sure you've got a very sharp knife. Dull knives are actually more dangerous than sharp knives because dull knives are unpredictable. I'm not going to cut this up in front of you guys because I don't want you guys to watch me struggle to do this. Plus it would just be boring. But those are my tips for cutting up your butternut squash. And we want about 3 cups. In the end result, we want them to be about this size. It's smaller than bite size because we're incorporating it with a bunch of other ingredients and it's gonna go on a salad. We wanna make sure that we can fit, 2 or 3 pieces, a little bit of beet, a little bit of butternut squash, and a little bit of the arugula. That'll be our salad base. So this is about the size that we're, the goal is to end up with. So that is our butternut squash. Up next, we've got beets. So if you have ever wondered what this was in the grocery store or how to use them or how to prepare them, here is a beet. And typically in the grocery store, it comes with the stems on them. So you'll see the beets in a bunch with big green stalks coming out. So this week I was only able to find these, no stalks, which is perfectly acceptable. What we've got here, again, this is a root vegetable, so it lives, in the dirt underground. And so we want to make sure that we get these scrubbed off really well. So run these under cool running water. Use a vegetable brush if you have one. If you don't have a vegetable brush, I recommend you really getting in there with your thumbs and your fingers and kind of going to town on the outside of your beet just to make sure you get dirt and debris out of all those little crevices that you can see on the beet right here. And speaking of beets, let me pull our roasted beets out of the oven right now. Oh, look at that. Look at those beautiful colors. We're gonna talk about what gives each one of these vegetables their color here in a second. I'm gonna set these over here just to cool off and rest for a second. Looking good. We don't need that anymore, do we? All right, so we will just continue to let that sit, and we'll continue talking about our beets. So again, make sure you scrub all the dirt and debris off because we are going to cut into this and we are actually going to remove the skin. And so again, just take a standard veggie peeler and you can go just around the beet. It's much like peeling a potato, anything else that's small and round that you need to take the skin off. But that vibrant color is absolutely stunning. You can see what the beet looks like on the inside. And just so you guys know as to why I have a black dishcloth underneath, the beet color, that bright purple that you see here, does stain. So take caution when you are cutting into beets. Just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what clothes you have on. I've got on black today and my apron just to make sure. And I've got this cloth underneath my cutting board because my countertops are pretty porous and I want to make sure I don't accidentally stain my countertops with bright purple beet juice. So that is why I've got the black cloth underneath. And again, just a little tip for you guys out there at home who are going to try working with beets. It does stain a little bit. It'll come off the cutting board after a wash and a good scrub. It'll come off your hands after maybe a wash or two. But the countertops and the clothes are something to be mindful of. So essentially what we're gonna do is you would peel this entire beet, cut off these kind of rooty, gnarly ends, and then continue chopping it like you would the butternut squash to get it into these bite-sized pieces. So now back to these brilliant colors that are going to be a part of our salad. So the butternut squash is really full of a lot of amazing nutrients. First off, it is packed with fiber. It also has potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin BA, and it's got carotenoids, which are the antioxidant that actually end up giving it this bright orange yellow color. So definitely a super beneficial vegetable to start incorporating into your diet. And because they're a winter vegetable, it means they're in season right now, which means you can find great deals on them at the grocery store. So that is another reason to try out a butternut squash right now because it's gonna be less expensive. And then again with beets, this beautiful bright purple color is just amazing, and that is a wonderful signal that it's packed with vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So again, beets are really high in fiber, which is amazing because this is gonna be a high fiber dish. Most Americans don't consistently get enough fiber in their diet every single day. So incorporating things like fruits and vegetables that you know are high in fiber is an excellent way to just be mindful of that and get it in naturally with your fruits and vegetables. But beets also contain things like folate, manganese, more potassium, iron, and vitamin C. But one of the things that makes beets truly very special, and maybe a reason you've heard of them as a healthy cardiovascular food or a heart healthy food, would be they have a high amount of naturally occurring nitrates, which in the body turns into nitric oxide, which has those benefits for your cardiovascular system. So they're definitely a heart healthy food, and if you haven't tried them out yet, they really are delicious. So we've got these two amazing super vegetables in this salad here today. So what have we done to these beyond just getting them prepped? What we did was we put them on a baking dish, a foil lined baking dish, again, just extra protection for your baking sheet against this very, very deep purple red color. just to prevent a little bit of staining. So I did go ahead and put them on foil, and I just threw them straight into the oven. So both of these vegetables have a fairly high water content. So I chose not to put any olive oil on them or really any other seasonings, because the flavor that's in these two vegetables is so brilliant and so wonderful. I didn't want to kind of obscure it with any of those basic seasonings. And we're gonna get into more with the dressing about what's gonna give us extra flavor, because I know no one wants to eat a sad, flavorless salad. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these things cleared off, and then we will dive into our salad dressing and how we made that and what we're currently doing with it. So one of the big reasons that you want to consider making your own salad dressing is so that you can control the sodium and the sugars that get added to your standard dressings that you might find in the grocery store. Now, of course, if you want to use those, nothing wrong with it, just be mindful. I encourage you to take a look at the nutrition label, take a look at the ingredient list, and just double check to see how much sodium and how much added sugar is really included in those salad dressings. For this one though, this salad dressing that we have, I think, is uniquely created to enhance the flavors of these winter root vegetables. So I am really excited about this. So what we've been doing, this is balsamic vinegar, and we have just been reducing it on the stovetop. So the entire time that the beets and the squash have been in the oven, I've had the balsamic vinegar on just a very low setting, just to encourage that extra, the water content to start evaporating. And so we'll go ahead and reduce that balsamic vinegar, and really how you tell it's ready to go is just to your desired thickness. So think of a standard salad dressing. If you've ever ordered, you know, a salad with a balsamic vinaigrette before, that's the texture we're going for and the consistency that we're going for. So it's been reducing on the stovetop for a few minutes now, and what we're gonna add to it is going to really bring out the flavors in this salad, and that is maple syrup. So this is 100% pure maple syrup, and we're going to go ahead and add it to our balsamic vinegar reduction. Perfect. And again, this is really to your desired thickness. So if you do like your balsamic vinegar dressing a little thinner, you don't have to reduce it quite as much, but if you do like that kind of thicker consistency to coat everything and really stick to it, you can go ahead and reduce it to pretty much as you want. Just take care not to burn it at the very end. So we will go ahead and add that maple syrup in there. The sweetness of the maple syrup is going to make the flavors of the butternut squash and the beets shine. When beets and butternut squash are roasted, they really do end up with what can be considered a sweeter flavor. And so we really want to play on that by adding this maple syrup. And so it'll, again, just bring out just a really beautiful sweetness that will be balanced out by the earthiness of beets. If you've never tasted a beet before, they do have what people refer to as an earthy flavor, which again is delicious and it's really wonderful, but we do want to balance it out with that sweetness. And those two flavors really do help to kind of balance each other out. So just as much we're balancing the earthen out, we're balancing the sweetness out. So let's see. We are going to go ahead and start assembling our salad here. I'm just going to pour this reduction into another little bowl so I can show you guys. And again, reduce it to your desired texture. So we have got our arugula already plated in the bottom of our salad plate. And arugula is, again, another excellent superfood to add to this salad. Arugula contains calcium, folate, vitamin C, and vitamin K. So when we talk about a salad, a super salad that's going to bring you so many vitamins and nutrients in relatively few bites, this is gonna be at the top of that list. So we've got our salad plated already. We're gonna come right over here and grab our beautiful, colorful butternut squash and beets. We're gonna bring it over here and we're gonna do a few things. First, I'm gonna pour the dressing on. Just a little bit. That was maybe even too much, but just a little bit, enough to get everything coated. And if you would prefer to do this, you can also take out the dressing and put all of the beets and butternut squash in a big bowl and toss it to make sure everything gets really evenly coated, and then place it on top of the arugula if you would prefer. So there's a couple ways to get that done. Up next, we've got our pecans. So these are Texas pecans. They are absolutely delicious. If you have never tasted some toasted Texas pecans, you're missing out, and you really need to go find some, toast them up, and you can eat them as a snack. You can put them on top of plenty of salads, loads of other foods. These just happen to be one of my favorite little delights in life, is some fantastic toasted Texas pecans. So we're gonna go ahead and add those on top, just a few. And then we are going to finish the salad off with goat cheese. So goat cheese has just a really beautiful, tangy flavor that is going to really complement the sweetness, the earthiness. It's gonna tie everything together. And this is our salad. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope this showed you how easy and simple this really was. And I hope you learned a thing or two about butternut squash or beets or arugula, or really anything we talked about today. For this recipe and for more recipes, go ahead and visit our website. That will be www.dinnertonight.tamu.edu. You can follow us on Facebook if you don't already. You can also find us on Instagram. We've got a Pinterest, so you can go locate us on Pinterest and save all of these great recipes right to your own boards. And if you enjoyed this video, go check out our YouTube channel, where we've got many more videos of our recipes. And finally, when you visit our website, you can sign up for our newsletter. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, there is a sign up where you can sign up to get these recipes straight to your inbox weekly, so that you never miss a new delicious, healthy recipe. And with that, I hope you guys join us again for another one of our demonstrations, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you on how much you love this recipe and many of our others. Bye.